Deerling gets Headbutt as an egg move in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and I know exactly what I'm doing with it. So let's go and find the Choice Scarf, put that right there, give it the Headbutt ability. Ooh, SAWSBUCK gets that Serene Grace. Let me check one more thing, and done. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That is how you use SAWSBUCK in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Wait, no, we gotta put a little bit more effort into it. Okay, what did I do for SAWSBUCK back in my how to use it? Actually, SAWSBUCK is pretty good overall. I gave it the OP stamp of approval, so now it has just a little bit extra to do, and you can kind of modify your moveset a bit more. So one of the main things about running SAWSBUCK that just kind of works out is that you could either go for Swords Dance into just kind of outspeeding as much as possible and doing insane amounts of damage, or if you can find a way to thread in an agility, you're going to be able to get a lot of outspeed, you can get a little bit of bulk, and then you're just going to be good to go overall. So let's actually take that approach with this SAWSBUCK right here, that you can run Choice Scarf, Headbutt, do a moderate amount of damage, like 100 attack isn't great, Headbutt's base power isn't great, but I mean 30% chance flinch, doubled into 60, it's like running the Togekiss, and it has, you're sacrificing damage for a bit more speed, and it can kind of work out, so it's just one of those weird things. You're running a Scarf, Serene Grace, Flinchmon, and after that you can get a little bit of like extra moveset stuff out of it, but it brings up another weird point about the SAWSBUCK. Also, when we look at its typing, fighting, flying, poison, bug, fire, and ice, those are going to be all your weaknesses, with the immunity to ghost, and then the resistances are going to be the same as grass. But yeah, when like looking at the SAWSBUCK, what are you going to do? Where's that Serene Grace supposed to kick in and come into play? I mean, I guess Energy Ball, you're getting a little bit extra chance to like drop the opponent's special defense or something. Same with like the Shadow Ball. It's like the special SAWSBUCK gets a lot of buff right there. But overall, there wasn't really much going for it. So the idea was your Sap Sipper. You bring it in on a grass type move, Sap Sipper eats it up. Now you have a bit more powerful Pokemon, and hopefully that actually does something for you. But when we start comparing the stats, so Choice Scarf on a non-invested, or like, okay, Choice Scarf on a neutral speed nature is actually going to let you outspeed up to 100, actually it lets you outspeed over 145 base speed Pokemon, so you end up with 220 speed at level 50 with the Choice Scarf, and then that means you're going to be faster than the Togekiss, who would have to go Timid nature, so as you can see right here, 145, Timid Scarf Togekiss is going to not have as much speed as the 147 on the SAWSBUCK. However, the damage is going to be less as well, 167 compared to the 172. But I mean, it's like very small ranges, and even then, when you're using Togekiss, the Air Slash isn't going to be the most damage ever either, and it does get coverage though, so you're able to hit grass type super effective. So you're able to get those super effective hits with the Air Slash that SAWSBUCK doesn't have because Headbutt just hits everything neutral. Also, you can get just stopped by Ghost type Pokemon completely. Rock and Steel type still give you a problem, much like with the Air Slash. So it's not going to be as effective of a use case, but I mean, it's still just an extra Serene Grace Mon that you can carry, and then SAWSBUCK does have those other options. Now, if you're not running the Choice Scarf, that's where we kind of get back into the other idea of the guide. What you could do is just run Agility instead. Take away all the speed investment, put it like all in the hit points, or you can go with like a weird defensive mix spread where you can survive some physical hits from something like the Guard Chomp a little better, and then turn it around, and then you're good to go right there. So Agility can be very powerful if you end up getting that setup, because now our speed is going to double to 230, so we're going to get more than if we had the Scarf. We're going to have the freedom, we just have to eat that extra hit, and that's kind of like where you take the risk. You know, do you want to go for the Confusion Berry, anticipating a 75-80% damaging move, then you get 50% of your health back while you're sitting on that agility? That could be very powerful right there. Or you just want to go with the Citrus Berry. That way it's like you take a moderate hit, survive, Citrus Berry activates, and now you might have one extra hit in you while you're running the Headbutt, and then you have that agility behind you with your maxed attack, and then you can run something like the Horn Leech and then Jump Kick. But that was one thing surprising about the SAWSBUCK, that you could run like Double Edge for like a massive neutral hitting nuke, and then you had grass and fighting as coverage. It just kind of worked out in a pretty decent way. But also, there's another thing you can do, and this is if you really want to get carried away just for that SAWSBUCK sweep. We have the Swords Dance. Now we're going to go into damage calculations in a bit, but Headbutt isn't two-shotting anything, unfortunately. So even with the Swords Dance, it's like you're going to do a massive hit. They only have a 40% chance to move that turn, and then if they do, well, the Swords Dance kind of didn't work. But if you're going for the late game, it could be worth the risk. So there are some drawbacks there they can deal with. And then also if you Swords Dance, the best thing about it is now you have Agility Swords Dance into a Horn Leech. So this is where you can start converting more damage while getting that sustain back in your favor, surviving hits by outspeeding, healing, surviving, outspeed, healing, surviving, and then SAWSBUCK can maybe get away with that. Also, if you just want to be just straightforward, max hit points, max attack, that can work on the SAWSBUCK as well. So we got our Togekiss comparison out of the way, and then I did want to take a look at all of these Serene Grace Pokemon that can effectively utilize a Flinch, which was pretty much only Togekiss, and now SAWSBUCK can join those ranks, because Chansey, it's too slow. Dunsparce, it's too slow. They can both use Rock Slide, which is devastating in doubles, but unless you're doing like Trick Room strats, it's not really going to be a thing. It's not like this singles lockdown Pokemon. Now, we do have Jirachi and we do have Shaman, but that's going to be more in the realm of like forbidden Pokemon. Yeah, so it's like, okay, we get a little bit extra of an option with that SAWSBUCK. Now, another interesting thing about the SAWSBUCK is that it gets access to the Thunder Wave, and it even has Synthesis. So really, what you could make it is a less tanky, more weakness Togekiss for the Paraflinch. Like, that's also one of the really good things about running Scarf Togekiss, is that you can eat a super effective hit from a surprising amount of Pokemon. You know, Rock Slide here, Ice Beam there, Thunderbolt there. So that means if you don't get the flinch on the Air Slash, Togekiss will bail you out. It will survive it like a hero, like a true champion, have slightly more damage as well as more coverage. And then there's also just like the super frustrating just Paraflinch. You come in with the Air Slash, you come in with the Thunder Wave, you have the Roost, and then you're just the most frustrating thing to deal with ever. And that is another possibility with the Togekiss. SAWSBUCK, it kind of does that, but it's definitely not as tanky, and you're not, like, and then you still have some of the other drawbacks. However, it is something you can run. Now, if you see a SAWSBUCK, that means the opponent's crazy. This is someone that really loves SAWSBUCK. This is someone that really loves playing ultimate cheese Pokemon strats. And because of that, it means that you just need to fear SAWSBUCK a bit more. Know that it could be up to some pretty cheeky shenanigans in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. So without this video, you'd be like, oh, it's a SAWSBUCK, what's it gonna do? And then you just get Scarf Flinched like 4 times, and then it might not win games like Togekiss does, but it'll definitely help reset some momentum, because SAWSBUCK comes in and has decent damage. Like, it's a good revenge option against a lot of things, like the Tapu Koko. Now, it is a 3-hit KO, and there is a 60% chance it's flinching off the headbutt, but also look at that coverage. Like, it's not going to be able to hit you hard enough to where it matters. Like, Hidden Power Fire, well, the Stab, Dazzling Gleam does the same amount of damage as the super effective Hidden Power Fire. The Thunderbolt, because we're resisted, we get to survive it right there. So let's say we outspeed Headbutt, doesn't flinch. Then we outspeed Headbutt, flinch, and then they die. So that's how you can take care of the Tapu Koko. Also, as we can see right here, 95% chance of 2-hit KO after Stealth Rocks. So I think that is a 100% necessity when you are running the SAWSBUCK, that if you can get Stealth Rocks on the field, now some of these Headbutts start turning into 2-hit KOs, because Tapu Koko, it's in that range. 70, 85. This is going to be your average sweeping Pokemon, but as we can see, we can outspeed a lot of Pokemon like that. So let's bring in that Excelgor, that if Pokemon starts getting really fast, it's not going to be very tanky. So I mean, yeah, it's a 2-hit KO even without Stealth Rocks on the field or anything like that. A non-Mega Alakazam, because we can kind of show that one off. The Focus Sash doesn't matter because, again, it's still only 2-hit KO range, but anytime we get tankier than that, it's going to start getting bad. So Garchomp. Garchomp would be one of those ones where if we bring up the Stealth Rocks, does that push us? Yeah, so Stealth Rocks turns the 4-hit KO into the 3-hit KO, because we're like just slightly down on the damage right there. Now, the Rough Skin is going to make Garchomp a massive problem for us, unless we're like getting flinches the entire time, because then we're just going to be losing most of our health to that. Earthquake comes in, Dragon Claw comes in, that combo with a couple of Rough Skins could be pretty bad, but it means that if it's a non-Scarf Garchomp, and you've kind of confirmed that for the battle, and you just need like to do 50% of its health, you can come in, headbutt, 60% chance to flinch, and then just like kind of finish off a Garchomp like that. It's a really good finishing Pokemon with the SAWSBUCK. We also have, like, I was looking at Pokemon like the Landorus, because technically, if we're running a Jolly SAWSBUCK, I recommend the Adamant just because it gives you that 10% extra damage. But if we're running Jolly, you know, we have outspeed on the Scarf Landorus, and then we have a 60% chance to flinch the Scarf Landorus. Now, I did get rid of the Intimidate ability because that just makes it even worse. So let's just say Landorus already on the field, you come in, don't have to worry about the Intimidate, Headbutt, that's like pretty high chance of 3-hit KO. Yeah, 99.7 chance 3-hit KO the Landorus. So I mean, it's decent, and while it can still hurt you in return, remember, we are dealing with those flinches, and we are able to flinch shut down potentially a Landorus, or you can just use it in doubles. You will eat that Intimidate, but now you can also use it as a response to Landorus, like hey, you're going to be trying to like rock slide Flinch or pull some shenanigans like that, I'm just going to try to lock you down as best as I can with the headbutt. It's going to be little bits of chip damage, but then that can work. Now at the same time, that is going to be your only scarf on something like the SAWSBUCK, and then you are locked into the headbutt. So that is another advantage, like using agility or something like that. But I mean, there's also been a rise of like Scarf Greninja. So do you want to put your scarf on a SAWSBUCK, or do you want to put your scarf on the Greninja? Both of them are going to kind of be as a response to the Landorus Therian. In either case, that's kind of it. The damage numbers, they're alright. Togekiss, it's effectively just the Togekiss that can actually hit neutrally against Electric-type Pokemon. So that works out pretty well. I don't know if I can recommend running both, because again, like that's going to be Choice Scarf. So one would have to be like the bulky set. You'd have like the Thunder Wave, Roost, Air Slash, Togekiss, attacking a double team right there, just to make your opponent hate life. Then you can put the Scarf on the SAWSBUCK, and that could work. It's cheeky, so I mean, that's kind of it. Like, SAWSBUCK gets some extra options. I stand behind it being a pretty powerful Pokemon that exists already. Unfortunately, only 22,000 people saw the video, because like, SAWSBUCK, how good is it going to be? Actually, SAWSBUCK is a really good Pokemon, but now we have the headbutt, so it can be just a little bit more on that cheesy side, and it can work out pretty well. So if you guys enjoyed the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.